Hi everyone, it is time to play with some Juvia's Place again, and you guys probably know that I just did my 10 look video with Juvia's Place. If you haven't seen that, I will link it in the corner, but I needed a bit of a break after that, so I want to say it's been like 2 weeks now since I've done anything with Juvia's Place, but I hope that video made up for the little bit of a break that we did have. So today we're going to be using the Masquerade palette, and this is the one that you guys requested me to use when I asked in my last video which one you wanted to see next. If you haven't already seen this palette, this is what it looks like. So it's basically a half neutral, half colorful palette, and today I want to do something that I don't really do on my channel, but I want to show you how to make a neutral look a lot more interesting. And I know the basic way of doing this is putting neutrals in your crease with a pop of color on your lid or on your lower lash line, but that's not what we're going to be doing today. So I kind of just want to jump straight into this and see what I can come up with. So you guys know I don't really work with neutrals, so for me this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, if you will. So I'm gonna find a way to make this look feel as comfortable to me as it possibly can, and I don't want to feel like not myself wearing something that's more on the neutral side, but don't worry, it's not going to end up being a neutral look because obviously I need to do something with this look for it to get more interesting. So let me just start off by priming my eyes. And of course I'll be using my MAC paint pot in soft ochre. So unless you're new to my channel, you probably know that I am a huge fan of putting colors in my inner corner. I don't really tend to gravitate towards like the champagne-y kind of light shades. I mostly gravitate towards colorful inner corner shadows, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And if you're looking at this palette, you might be like, a lot of those shades look to be a lot too dark for your inner corner, but let me show you that these can actually work. So I think I want to use 2 of them in my inner corner today, but I haven't completely decided. But first I'm going to put on the neutral shadows, and then we can get into the more fun part after. So I'm first going to start off by taking Burkina, which is the lightest of the brown shades in this palette, and I'm going to put this into my crease, and then I'm going to later go in and deepening it up with this shade, which is called Fulani. Fulani. Wow. So I'm going in with Burkina now, and I'm gonna basically put this in my whole crease. And I actually don't think I've ever used this shadow before. So I'm also going to make sure that this is all blended out before I go in with my next shade. And another thing that I want to do with this look is I want to make it a pretty dark look. Not dark, but the shimmer that I plan on using is going to be this kind of bronzy shade down here. So it is definitely going to be on the darker side, but I want to make it a smoky eye so that at least it's going to have a bit of dimension, and it's not going to be like a super neutral look, but this is more like a nighttime, evening, fun, but still neutral look, if that makes any sense. And I'm also going to take this same shadow and I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. And I'm also smoking it out pretty far down because I am going to go in with a darker shade like I said before. And I'm going to be packing that tighter into my lower lash line. So I think I'm just going to have to get used to doing some more neutral-ish kind of looks now, because I did end up buying the new DHC Cosmetics palette, and I will pop that on the screen for you if you haven't already seen it. But I just love the brand so much, so I want to support them, and I also really wanted to get some of their lipsticks, so I felt like getting that palette was an excuse for me to buy some lipsticks. Yeah, that's just my makeup brain talking, but I did buy that palette and I definitely want to review it for you guys, and I feel like it'll be good for my channel to have something a little bit different as well, even though it's not really my cup of tea per se, but I feel like it'll be a challenge for myself to be able to make looks with a neutral palette and still make it look interesting. So I'm kind of excited to try it. I feel like I'll be doing pretty good with that because I have a lot of fun like accessories that I can play with and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Alright, next up I'm going to dip into Fulani, which is this darker brown shade, and I like that both of these are more on the neutral side. So I'm just going to be placing this a little bit lower down in my crease. And I also want this to be a pretty easy look, because I feel like if you're working with neutrals, the whole point of using neutrals is for it to be quick, you know? Or at least in my mind, like I couldn't imagine spending as much time doing a neutral look as I do on my colorful looks. I'm also taking this shadow and running this under my eye as well, a little bit closer to the lash line. Alright, so for my lid, I'm going to use Casablanca, which again I told you is more of a bronzy sort of shade, which is not really something that I reach for. So I'm going to be putting this on most of my lid, at least 2/3 of it, and I'm going to leave the rest of the space like in here open. And I'm not being very precise with this. I am kind of bringing it into my crease as well to make sure it blends into the mats that I have down. Alright, let's get into some colors. So I think what I want to use is I want to use the blue shade, and I'm probably going to go with this one, and I also want to use the green. So I'm first going to take this one, which is called Dahlia. Wow, something that I can actually pronounce. And I'm using my Morphe M149 brush for this, which is really, really small. And I'm going to put that right next to where I put down that bronze shade. And I'm also layering it over a little bit. And as you can see, I'm not bringing it all the way in because I'm going to go in with the green shade. So I'm basically doing like a double inner corner highlight, if that makes any sense at all. And I think this is just going to give a bit of a different effect. And I'm also bringing this up a little bit into my crease, meeting it up with the brown crease shade. And I'm also going to do the same thing on my lower lash line. Again, I'm leaving some room right in the middle here for the green. And then, like I said, I'm going to use this beautiful green shade here called Molly, which I feel like the names in this palette are pretty easy. I don't know why some of the palettes have very complicated names and some are like actually pronounceable, so this is great. So I'm basically going to just pop this where I don't have any shadow yet, right in the middle of my inner corner. And of course meeting it up and blending it into the blue. So this is going to be it for shadows. Now I want to figure out what I want to do in my waterline, and I'm sort of thinking I want to do yellow because yellow always gives such a nice pop when you have a couple of other colors in there. So I think I'm going to use, I could do green as well, but I think I'm going to go with the, or do I want to do green? I think I'm going to go with yellow. And this is Punch by Colourpop. And looking at this now, I definitely want to use my yellow Colourpop mascara. Obviously optional, so you don't have to do this, but before I do that, I'm going to make sure that I finish up the rest of my eyes, and I want to put on the color mascara last, because sometimes if you do it the other way around and you put on the color mascara first, and then you go in with black, the black will kind of transfer down, so definitely don't want to be doing that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put on just a regular black liner and some mascara, and then I'll come back and we can put on the other mascara on the bottom lashes, and then figure out some kind of a fun lip to go with this neutral look. So I just opened a new Badgalbang, and I love how my lashes look when I get a new tube of this because they just end up being so long and I live for that. So let me put on some of this yellow Colourpop mascara, which is called Yellow Goodbye. That is amazing. I think this is probably my favorite of the colored mascaras, to be honest, because I can really see this. And like I said, this is of course an optional step. I don't expect anybody to want to wear yellow mascara, but I do. So let's move on. I think I want to bring on one of my Milk stamps as well. And I have not used this yet, and this is their little smiley face stamp. So let me see how this works. Let me just try it on my hand first.
Oh, you cannot see what I'm doing here.
Oh, would you look at that? I don't even know if you can see it, but that is the cutest thing in the world. So I'm gonna put on, I guess one of these will probably be enough. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love that. So I did get a little bit of a smear right here, but that sometimes happens with these stamps if you press too hard, and I don't think I'm going to do anything to fix it because then I'm just going to make a mess. So I'm just going to leave that little smiley face there, and then obviously for lips I also want to do a pop of color. So I'm going to use my Maybelline, what is this called? Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Creator, and I love this so much. Now I will say that this formula is not for everyone. It does say it dries down matte, which it does after like an hour or two, so you will be walking around with kind of like sticky lips for a while, so you're not going to want to go like you know, after you apply it. So just kind of keep your mouth to yourself and keep it closed. But this color is literally so stunning. Okay, so this is going to be the final look with the Masquerade palette. Now, let me know how I did. Did I stay neutral enough? I know I didn't. You're gonna look at me and be like,
that's not neutral at all.
But to my defense, I did use 2 browns and a bronze, which are shades that I never use. So for me, this is more neutral than I usually go, especially on my eyes. But I like to think that I was able to turn it around and make it into something a bit less neutral and more exciting. So let me know down below what you think, and let me know how you like to use this palette. Do you normally go for either neutral looks or colorful looks, or do you go for a mix between neutrals and colors? Because that's what I feel like most people who get this palette are going to be doing. They're going to be doing neutral looks with a pop of color. But for me, I'm usually more on the colorful sides, and I kind of ignore all of the neutral shades in this palette. So it was fun to at least try them out. So now that I know what these shadows are performing like, I can actually even more recommend this palette, because this is an amazing palette, and so are all the Juvia's Place palettes. I cannot speak highly enough of them, and I absolutely love them. I love the brand. I love everything they come out with. So I'm happy I got some more use out of them, and let me know down below which palette you want to see me do next. And I will do the palette that gets the most votes or comments down below. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video.